I'm trying to take one day at a time. I would not say that what I did was her fault or my fault. It's something that happened when I was 13. And I go every day, I regret what happened. I'm not the type to hurt anybody.
I don't know how much you understand about psychology, but in psychology, you go through different courses of training. And my particular course of training was in clinical psychology. I will also tell you that once I finished up my training and got my doctorate, I did a year's postdoctoral training in forensic psychology and have worked as an officer of the court to evaluate people like you, to evaluate whether someone is worthy of being around a parent or not, and to know what signs to look for in determining the sincerity of someone and to measure their level of insight and their likelihood of reoffending. And I am troubled by some of the things you're saying here. Don't know you, you could be the nicest guy in the world, I don't know. But what I am interested in is one of the quotes you gave to us, and it is a quote, I will read it verbatim. You said, "The victim was a willing participant and never tried to stop me or say no."
Are you kidding me?
Now, you recall saying that to our producer?
I don't believe I said those exact words.
You said those. The only thing I'm changing is you used her name, which I did delete from the verbatim quote. Other than that, that's what you said, that she was a willing participant and never tried to stop you. You then said, hey, this just happened a few times. It was as playing doctor, which kids do.
No.
You
wasn't
didn't say those
doctor.
things? Did you say those things?
Curious. I do not remember if I said those exact words.
That's bull. What kind of person
Hold on,
is curious
I
at
have
13?
absolutely no problem conducting an interview. And if I do, you're the first one I'll come to.
Thank you.
Okay? Did you or did you not say she was a willing participant?
Yes.
How does that sound when you hear it read back to you?
It sounds terrible, actually. I meant willing participant as in she was there with me. She didn't tell me to stop. She didn't see it a problem. I didn't think it was a problem when I was a child growing up. I didn't know the consequences of it. I didn't know it was wrong.
The police report says this went on for 4 years. 13, 14, 15, I'm just telling you what the police report says.
That is not true at all.
Okay, the police report is wrong.
And no, I'm not saying that the police report is wrong. I'm saying that did not happen for over 4 years.
And you know the number one thing I'm looking for is insight. Do you get it? Do you get the gravity of what took place? And if you try to minimize it or trivialize it, that tells me that you don't get the gravity of what took place. An 8-year-old child, 9-year-old child, 10-year-old child, 11-year-old child does not have the capacity to give consent. That's why they call it statutory rape when an adult has sex with a child, because the child can't give consent because they don't have the mental or emotional capacity to consent. So when you say she was a willing participant, she is prepubescent, you are postpubescent, that is a huge gap. Do you understand that she didn't have the capacity to give consent?
Yes, I do understand
That's
that.
important for me to know that you understand that.
Yes, I do.
So the fact that she didn't stop you or she didn't run away, to blame the victim is absolutely unacceptable.
I am not blaming the victim.
Okay, well, I'm glad to hear that.
That is not.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. You cannot blame the victim. Now, you were released with conditions of probation, correct?
Yes, I was.
And the conditions of your probation were you were a level 2 sexual predator that has to register as a sex offender for life. You must maintain employment. You can't drink alcohol or do drugs. You must stay away from areas where children congregate. No contact with children under 18 unless they're in the company of at least a 21-year-old and with permission of the supervisor. No contact with your victim. You have to report to local police with a current photo every 3 years. You can use a computer, but you can't do social networking. You got a 9 p.m. curfew Sunday through Thursday and 11 on Friday and Saturday. Have you maintained compliance with the conditions of your probation? Do you maintain that curfew?
Yes, I do.
Do you have permission from your supervisor to be around Melinda's daughter?
Yes, I do.
So you have written permission from your supervisor?
Not written permission. I have verbal permission to come over.
You need to get that in writing, because that probation officer doesn't have the authority to give